Yo, and welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be talking about a Roblox game that had one of the biggest rises and one of the fastest drop I've ever seen. And yeah, that game is Jujutsu Infinite. If you were around Roblox in early 2025 or late December, you probably heard about it, or even played it yourself. It hit a crazy peak of over 400,000 active players, which is no joke. That put it right up there with one of the biggest anime games on the platform. But now, it's sitting at around 4,000 players on a good day. So what happened? How did it fall off so hard? Let's break it down. Let's start with the beginning. When Jujutsu Infinite launched, it had everything going for it. The anime Jujutsu Kaisen was blowing up, and people were looking for any game that let them use Gojo's limitless techniques or feel like Sukuna. The game looked clean. The abilities were flashy, especially the domain expansions. The combat felt better than most anime games out there. It wasn't perfect, but it was fun enough to get people addicted. And it helped that the devs marketed it well. You had content creators jumping on it, showcasing the different techniques, making guides, and hyping it up. The player base exploded, and before long, it was one of the top games on Roblox. So, why did people get hooked? A few reasons. First, the abilities. Each cursed technique felt pretty unique. You had flashy animations, some complex combos, and some abilities that were just really satisfying to use. Second, the progression system was addictive at first. People wanted to grind for rare abilities, level up and dominate in PvP. Third, it was fresh. Jujutsu Kaisen wasn't oversaturated in the Roblox scene at the time, so this game filled a big gap. And finally, the community around it was active. Discord was booming. People were trading info, sharing builds, talking about updates. It really felt like something big, but not long after the initial hype, things started to crack a little. If you were there in the first few weeks, you might remember some of the early complaints starting to roll in. The first big issue was balance. Some cursed techniques were completely broken in PvP. Like, you'd get one comboed with no counterplay, and others? Basically useless. That kind of imbalance made PvP frustrating really quickly. Then you had glitches and bugs. From visual bugs to full-on movement issues, some of them were harmless, but others made the game borderline unplayable, and they weren't fixed fast enough. Probably the biggest reason the game fell off was the update schedule, or the lack of one. People were expecting Jujutsu Infinite to grow and evolve, kind of like how Blox Fruits or Shindo Life constantly pump out new content. But Jujutsu Infinite didn't. The updates came slowly, and when they did arrive, they either didn't add enough content or just didn't feel exciting. No new game modes, no major events, no real seasonal content to keep players engaged. You can only do the same grind for so long before it gets boring. Without new cursed techniques, bosses, areas, or mechanics, players started logging off and not coming back. Another big complaint was the pay-to-win aspect. Now, most Roblox games have monetization. That's nothing new. But in Jujutsu Infinite, there was a growing feeling that spending Robux gave you a pretty big advantage. Whether it was re-rolling for better cursed techniques, buying stat boosts, or skipping the grind entirely, some players felt that free-to-play users just couldn't keep up. And when a competitive game leans too hard into pay-to-win, the casual players, which is the majority, start to feel left out. That always leads to drop-off. And this part's important. The dev communication wasn't great. For a while, it felt like updates and bug fixes were coming out of nowhere, with no roadmap or transparency. Players wanted to know what was being worked on. They wanted sneak peeks, community polls, even just basic interaction in Discord or Twitter. But for a long time, the devs were just quiet. And silence is dangerous in live service games. It makes players think the devs have moved on, even if they haven't. It kills trust. Finally, we have to talk about competition. Roblox anime games are everywhere. And when Jujutsu Infinite started slipping, other games started thriving. Games like Project Slayer's Anime Showdown, even older titles like Blox Fruits kept pushing updates, adding new content, and pulling players in. So, if you're bored with Jujutsu Infinite and you see another anime game getting hyped, you're gonna leave. And chances are, you won't come back unless something big changes. So, yeah. Jujutsu Infinite had a ton of potential, and for a while it really did feel like the next big thing. But between slow updates, balancing issues, bugs, dev silence, and strong competition, the game just couldn't hold on. Now the question is, can it make a comeback? Honestly, maybe. But it's gonna take work. It needs a clear update roadmap, regular communication, better balancing, and a reason for players to come back. Something new, fresh, and rewarding. Also, it's worth mentioning that the hype around Jujutsu Kaisen itself started to slow down. New anime trends popped up, and a lot of players moved on to other series. For example, Blue Lock became super popular around this time, and with it came new games and new communities. That shift in interest definitely pulled attention away from Jujutsu Infinite too. So, that's the story of Jujutsu Infinite. It started strong but fell because of slow updates, bad balancing, bugs, lack of communication, tough competition, and changing anime trends. Could it make a comeback? Maybe. But it would need clear updates, better balancing, regular dev communication, and something fresh and exciting to draw players back. Alright guys, so yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments that why did you stop playing? Or are you still playing? And I'm really sorry if some of each part I say is wrong, please forgive me. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more videos like this. I'll see you next time.